In this video, I'm going to be talking all about potty learning the Montessori way. At first, I'm going to talk to you about what the difference between potty learning the Montessori way versus a lot of the traditional potty training that you see just in American culture in general. One of the first things that you should know about potty learning the Montessori way is that they do not use any rewards or punishments for potty learning. And so there are no sticker charts, there are no candy rewards, there is nothing that incentivates the child to go to the potty. And I'll talk about how they do it and why they do it in 1 second, but the other thing that they don't do is that they don't actually punish or like take away a sticker for a child if they had an accident, or just do any type of like timeouts or anything like that. Potty learning the Montessori way is supposed to be a learning experience as well as a positive experience. The Montessori method really believes in the fact that the child is learning to use the potty like they are learning how to do anything else. And at the beginning, there's going to be a lot of mistakes, a lot of accidents, and that is totally okay. It is part of the process, and it is something that shouldn't be either rewarded for when they actually go potty or punished for if they have an accident. The next thing that a lot of Montessori parents do is that they actually set up an environment where the child can do things as independent as possible. So this means that they will have a potty chair or a potty seat that is perfect for their size, which is something that I think gets done also in like very traditional potty training methods. But something different that that Montessori parents do is that they actually have like a little basket that has some clean underwear, as well as maybe some books for the child to look at, as well as like a little basket for dirty underwear. So the reason for this is that when the child has an accident, you go to the station, usually in the bathroom, and you teach the child like, oh, you had an accident. The first thing we gotta do is clean up. The next thing you gotta do is put your dirty underwear and put it in the basket. And then you take on a clean pair of underwear and you put it on. And obviously, depending on the age of the child, you really have to go through this process with them. If they're a little bit older, this is something that they might be able to even do themselves. But usually when kids are, between, I would say like, 12 months all the way until 2 years old, they probably need some assistance with this step. So this is something that you would do with them as you go through it. In the Montessori method, it is also completely normal for a child to have a long period of time where they are learning the potty learning system. So it's not that, oh, you stay home on a weekend and in 3 days they'll be potty trained, this belief of that, but it is more of a belief that this is a long process that is going to take time, so that you don't think like, why is it taking so long? It is actually believed that kids actually continue to have accidents, as they're learning, and it's totally normal and it's totally okay. And I feel like that puts less pressure on the parents to think that they just gotta potty train their kid in like, a weekend. But instead it's more of an understanding that your child will go through periods where they're using the potty every single time, and then periods where they just are thinking of other stuff, or they might not be able to get their underwear off fast enough. It's like all of these things that we want parents to know that this is a long process that is going to have accidents and wins, and that's totally normal. So I did not know too much about the Montessori method with my first daughter, but even then I didn't use any rewards or punishments with her, and so I'll share my experience with her. And we are actually going through the potty learning process right now with our son, and so I'll share my experience with that as well. So with my daughter, I honestly I had heard that like people gave rewards and for like sticker charts or like candy for when the child went potty, but this is not something that is accustomed, especially in my culture. Like I didn't grow up, I am Latina, I'm Hispanic, and so just my parents never told me like, oh yeah, we gave you, you know, rewards and it worked. So because of that, I just didn't introduce it. I didn't feel the need to have to introduce any type of reward for going to the potty. I did say, yay, good job, you went to the potty, and you know, that was basically what we did. I've done this with 2 kids without the need to give them any rewards, and we actually have 2 potty trained kids in our home, and it just hasn't been necessary. So my daughter was about 2.5, I think a little bit older than 2.5. Both of my kids have been a little closer to 3 years old, like more like 2 years and 8 months, something around that, when I started the potty learning method with her. And I tried to introduce the method, or I tried to introduce potty training when she was younger, but it actually backfired on me. I felt like she wasn't really getting anywhere, and I didn't know what to do. So I just decided I had just had a baby when she turned 2, and I was just trying to figure out the whole 2-kid toddler and baby thing at the same time. So I decided to delay it, and for me it was actually a great idea. I felt like she was a lot more ready to go through this process when she was a little bit older instead of younger, with all of these changes that were going on in our house with a new baby. So that is the one tip that I would give you. If you feel like your child is not ready for whatever reason, they just started school, or they just had a really difficult change in their lifetime and they're trying to figure these things out, if you feel like it's becoming a little bit too much for your child, or maybe even for yourself, give yourself a break. Take some time to you know, gather yourself, and then start, you know, a couple weeks from now, a couple months from now. But if you really are committed that you want to start this process, and this is something that you're going to do, the main thing that I would give you is that you have to take the diaper off. What I did was that I only would put diapers on when my kids were taking a nap or sleeping. That was the only time that I put their diaper on. The feeling of peeing in a diaper, or pooping in a diaper, is a completely different feeling from actually peeing yourself or in your underwear. That feeling of getting wet and, you know, getting dirty, as much as you think that your kids probably don't care, it's an uncomfortable feeling, and that will actually help children quickly or much quicker transition into actually going potty instead of just going in their diaper. The next tip that I would give you is that and this comes easily even to me, like I have to like catch myself when I'm doing this, but when you have young children and you're trying to do the whole potty learning thing, something that you shouldn't do is to ask them if they have to go to the potty, or to tell you that they have to go to the potty, because in the beginning they won't know that they have to go until they're going. Like that knowledge of, oh, my body's telling me that I have to go soon, comes a little bit later into the process of potty learning. It's not going to happen in the beginning. So it's very important that instead of you saying, oh, do you have to go potty? Because immediately they're going to say, no, I don't have to go. That you say, oh, it's time to go potty. It's something that you're like reminding them that they have to do, instead of you asking them if they want to go. And even if they don't do anything, or they just sit around and don't do anything at all, it's totally fine. You'll come back in the next 5 minutes and you tell them, oh, we have to go to the potty again, let's try going to the potty again. And in the beginning, you have to do this pretty often, and I find that it's helpful when you have to stay home to go through this process so that they understand what's going on. So try to make it on a long weekend where you're just staying home, not to like, you're gonna potty train in this amount of time, but more like you're gonna start the process. The next thing that I want to talk about is, what if your child is starting to have a fear of the potty? So this was actually something that happened with my daughter. I would say the first thing that you should do is just check with your pediatrician. If you see that like something is wrong, maybe they don't want to go to the bathroom, or maybe something is going on that you just are not comfortable about, or your child is really afraid of going to the potty, I think that the first thing that you can do, just to, you know, make sure everything is okay, is just check with your pediatrician, make sure that everything is normal and that there's no problems. But then the next thing is just, if you see that it's creating a lot of fear, just hold off, put the diapers back on. It's okay. This is part of like the going forward, you know, taking 3 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you know, kind of growth. It's totally okay to put the diaper on for a little while and see if maybe they will want to try to, you know, go potty a little bit later. And most of the time, like, just by kids seeing that you go to the potty, they will want to learn how to do it themselves, because they, you know, they're looking up to you, and of course they want to do what you do. So I would say just try not to put so much pressure on yourself. Try not to see the fact that you're putting diapers back on as a fail. This is totally part of the process. It's totally normal, and it's just something that happens, and it's totally okay. Going out and having your potty learning child go out into the world. This is something that, my personal experience, what I did is that I would actually, in the beginning, just put a diaper on just in case. I would get the pull-ups to go outside just in the first few months, actually, because I wasn't sure, like, am I going to have a bathroom available for me to be able to go, and all those things. So I decided to, with both of my kids, that when I was going out in the beginning, I was going to have a pull-up on them. But then as, you know, I started seeing that they were doing really good at home, then I started, you know, kind of feeling the confidence to take the pull out and go in underwear. And what I would do is that I would carry like a little potty just in case that you don't have any access to a bathroom and your kids really have to go. Make sure you keep some type of portable potty in your car or somewhere. I've seen even potties that you can even bend, like they like compact so that you can actually put it in your diaper bag. I have to look for that to see, and if I find it, I'll make sure to put it in the link below. But anything that you can help your child be able to go to the bathroom when there's no bathroom access is great. This is something that like you can build that confidence and that want to learn within your child without having to incentivize them to go to the bathroom. And yeah, that's kind of my experience and with the Montessori method that I've learned. So I hope that you found this helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.